So we have come to the second question and answer session. So we have received some written questions. We will start the session with written questions.
We have received 3 reports.
3 reports.
Report number 1, Most Venerable Bhante, sitting meditation. After sitting comfortably, I started listening to the sounds and feelings to my body. Then with 2 or 3 deep breaths in and out, I started concentrating in my breath as Anapana. After some time, I could not feel my breath. Sometimes I search for it and sometimes I ignore it. I don't get much thoughts now and I am happy about it. Even if I get thoughts, I just ignore. When I don't get thoughts, I have an empty feeling. I am a beginner to Anapana, Sati Bhavana. Please advise. Much merit and Theruvan Saranai.
Yeah, you can simply continue like this because one important aspect of Anapanasati is to calm down all these proliferations. So right now it is sort of successful. So you are reducing your too much thinking and now say calming down different kinds of thoughts. Basically that means slowly that you are recognizing that you can be aware without thinking, without thoughts. So that is one interesting understanding that you are slowly getting, that we sometimes think, okay, we need to have thoughts every time. But with Anapanasati, we are very much like experiencing kind of a full awareness, but there are no thoughts. So once you reach this state, several challenges are there because your object may be quite subtle. Because at the beginning you may understood, okay, this is in breath, this is out breath. So likewise you can distinctly recognize. But later you lose these distinctions and now you can't even know what is really going on. And even the breath has become more and more subtle. So at that time there is a possibility that your mind get distracted. So that is somewhere you have to be careful. So not allowing your mind to get distracted even when you have no significant object to observe. And the other thing is that when you feel this kind of a state, your mind can feel sleepy because there is nothing much to do, no activities. So that is another kind of a danger, kind of a challenge you have to face. So when breath calms down, can you simply maintain your vigilance? You are fully aware, there is no kind of a gross object to observe. Breath has calmed down and you should not fall asleep. You have to maintain that vigilance, full attention. So if you are continuing like that, there are another possibilities going to arise. So one thing is you may feel sometimes, not always, sometimes you might feel certain rapturous sensations, maybe little happiness, pleasures. So likewise certain things may evolve. For that to happen, you need to simply maintain this state for a while. Or else maybe within your body there could be various other sensations which you start noticing. So that also is possible. So what would going to happen is not yet known to us. So it's a matter of simply waiting without falling asleep and without allowing your mind to get distracted. So it's a kind of a challenging area now you are being with. So simply continue your practice. I think you can be successful. Yeah.
Number 2. During the sermon yesterday, it was explained that wholesome or unwholesome thoughts creates karma. Bhante, I need to clear a doubt on this. We have heard about 3 levels in defilements such as anusaya, pariuttana, vitakkama. My understanding is only if you take action you make karma, but not during the thought process. Please explain.
Yeah, that is the general understanding. Say we need to do either bodily actions and the verbal actions. Haven't you ever heard about manokamma? So manokamma is another aspect, another action that we are doing, which doesn't involve our body and the speech, but mentally we are preparing some sort of conditions to reap future results. So there's an interesting sutta, several suttas actually dealing with this subject. One area Buddha mentioned, say there are various incidents that we have gone through in our lives, okay, in our past experiences. But now we can have various regrets about them, or maybe various delightful experiences regarding them. Now we can relive on those experiences. So when you are doing that in your mind get sort of indulged with it. So that indulgence generate karma. It is not simply that you remembering something past and then you ignore it, you let it go. Rather now you start reliving that. Okay, so that has the capacity to generate karma. On the other hand, say you are thinking about something going to happen in the future, kind of a planning or expectation. So there also you start thinking and slowly you involve with it, and you are now experiencing it, imagining it, dreaming about it. So ultimately you again indulge in that future experience which haven't yet happened, but mentally it has going through. So that also has the possibility of generating karma. So that is why these subjects are difficult to understand sometimes. So general understanding is that in order for karma to happen, we need to do something, say, more proactively. Say with our words, with our body, we have to do something. But the situation is more subtle. So you can even generate more karma using simply thinking. So that is a interesting, more positive side, interesting, story which has happened to Bodhisattva before he became the Buddha. So he, as a prince or someone, he was planning how to give a dana, how to give a more. During that time also there seems to be another Buddha. So he was imagining that how to do is, how to plan it. So, and Buddha mentioned through that also he was able to generate a lot of wholesome karma. So that is why it is not that simply during that bodily activity you generate karma, but even before that, during the planning sessions, during your thinking sessions, also you generate fair amount of karma. So that's why say you are doing some activity. Say you are going to kill an animal. Say you are immediately killing one animal and you plan for many days and then kill an animal. Which one you think more heavy? Say the same animal you are going to kill. Are there any difference or is the same? There is a significant difference when you do planning. So you are thinking about it, imagining, planning, and ultimately assume that you kill. Then heavy karma they are generated other than you immediately killing. So likewise the opposite is also there. Say you are impromptu, say you are doing something, maybe wholesome, but you are thinking and imagining and planning and you are generating a lot of wholesome mind moments and then you implement it. So similarly you have a lot of generated wholesome karma. So therefore mind's involvement is significant. So that's why Buddha mentioned that mano pubbangama dhamma, mano settha manomaya, manasache pasannena bhasativa karotiva, sasonang tatonang sukhamang veti chayava anapayini. So whatever the activities that you are doing with some wholesome mentality, so that the mindset really matters. It produces good results if you are with a proper, clear, wholesome mindset.
Most Venerable Bhante, we have heard from Lokuhamudruo mentioning about a black hole. Can you please elaborate on this?
So black hole, I am not much aware. I heard the word, but black holes are, I heard that those are available at far, galaxies, in between galaxies. So it's the absence of the matter is we can define as a black hole. You can think about it. More thinking, more proliferation, because this is not within our the perceived environment. So we have to imagine, we have to think, we have to plan, or we have to dream, and more thinking, more karma. So how about not thinking about these things? Keeping the mind quiet. So there are very interesting things. See, okay, maybe scientific findings, maybe various imaginations. So all are very prolific, and we like to think, and we promote thinking. So, what do you think? I mean, more you think, we come closer to Nibbana, or less we think, we come closer to Nibbana? So there is an interesting, I can't remember the name of the sutta. So Venerable Sariputta categorically mentioned this point. Say, if one is doing too much thinking, conceptual proliferation, he is going away from Nibbana. Calming down sankhara, become more quiet, entertaining, say, inner silence, then he is getting more closer to Nibbana. So it appears like, difficult, because we are prone to think. We think that we should think. So we think. So thinking, ultimately we become obsessive thinkers, and ultimately end up in going to Angoda. So, calming down these conceptual proliferations is one important aspect of Vipassana meditation. So, Nippapancha is the opposite of mental proliferation. Nippapancha is a synonym for Nibbana. That critical. Say, Nippapancha, the state of not involved with conceptual proliferation, is similar to Nibbana. So profound. So Buddha mentioned, we as human beings are more delighted in thinking, delighted in conceptual proliferation, imagining. But on the other hand, the Buddhas are the opposite. So they delight in Nippapancha, not in Papancha. Papanchabhirata paja, Nippapancha tathagata. Papanchabhirata paja. So that means the paja. Paja means the typical folk. Men, women, gods, all those, whoever the folk. Papanchabhirata paja. So they papanchabhirata. So they have a huge inclination, huge attachment towards this conceptual proliferation. Opposite, Nippapancha tathagata. Tathagatas are doing the opposite, Nippapancha. So they are not doing any kind of conceptual proliferation. So you can say when a simple thought comes to your mind, are we able to simply let it go, or are we constructing on top of that? Say you are thinking about next president. A simple thought, right? So you can get a lot of thinking, okay, would be this man, this be that man, he is good, he is bad. He's coming from this party, he's coming from that party. He will be recognized by the world. He won't be recognized by the world. He can solve the economic problem, crisis. Many things we can think. But a simple thought. So when we get that simple thought, based on our own ideas, our likes and dislikes, so we can view net of thoughts. The opposite is that we recognize, okay, this is simply a thought, maybe say with respect to the future, simply this is thought. You are looking at it objectively. So as a result of that, you are not driven by that, then it will simply fade away. So again, mind calms down. So another interesting point is called Muni. Probably you have heard Muni, the term Muni. So why it is called Muni? So it comes from the Moneya. Moneya is a person who don't talk. So it doesn't mean, by the way, he can't talk. So Buddha is a Muni. Ananta, Jina and Muni and many terms Buddha to refer Buddha it's used. So Buddha is a Muni, but he has to preach a lot of Dhamma, but internally quiet. Can you imagine that while talking, can you keep your mind quiet? Very interesting. These are very interesting ways. We can look at Dhamma, how one can even talk, but internally be feeling peaceful. Internally there is no agitation. Say mind still maintain its calmness, clarity, stillness, but maybe talking something, maybe preaching, maybe advising. So that is the speciality of the Muni when we are referring it to Buddha. But in general terms, Muni has the grammatical meaning as Moneya, who don't talk, maintain silence. So these are very interesting areas actually we can think when we are continuing our practice. So to which direction our practice has to lead. So if we can't maintain a silent mind, calm mind, tranquil mind, so that means still we have to practice more. So we haven't yet we haven't yet understand the direction that where Buddha is leading to us. So especially when we know or when we read so much and we think so much and we conceptualize so much, then when you are doing some simple practice like mindfulness on breathing, say walking meditation, so you can't maintain your mind in a quietude because it's a very simple, ordinary experience, and you might even ignore that experience, and you might even underestimate that experience, and you start thinking. What was mentioned in a book, what a particular monk has mentioned, preached. So likewise you start thinking. So this simple experience that you are going through, you ignore. So this is a very, very, common place that we go. We make the mistake. We think that the more we can logically, rationally think, there we can get the solution. There we get a best solution. But the opposite is also available. More you keep your mind calm, quiet, relaxed, there you have the possibility to look at from a different angle. So the insights are possible. Insights are possible. Not based on borrowed knowledge, but based on your own direct experience. So that's why, Buddha is taking us into that direction. It doesn't mean that we completely neglect the book knowledge. Suttame Jnana, the learned knowledge, book knowledge also has its place. And again, Chintame Jnana, the contemplative knowledge, also has its place. But when we are involved with the practice, the emphasis is on to the Bhavaname Jnana or the experiential knowledge, where you have to keep your mind fairly calm, quiet, and you give more emphasis to the direct experience. So based on the direct experience, you are maintaining a very quiet mind. Silent observer is there. So that silent observer may give more understanding, more insight that may be more profound, more deep. Yeah, so those are the things. Any more questions? That's all, right?
That's all, Bhante.
Yeah, yesterday also 3 questions, today also 3 questions. No questions?
Anyone would like to ask a verbal question?
Anyone like to actually? Okay, go ahead, please.
Thero,
Yeah.
a small clarification. Now we meditate, and our idea is to defeat all the defilements. So when you say defilements, you get the old karma, what we have done, and the future ones. Future what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But now the old ones we can't
Fix.
fix it. Suppose if you are in this moment, we can avoid the future, then this moment. Now, what type of defilements are we able to
Handle.
Yes.
Only the present defilements.
Oh, yes, I like if you can discuss this.
Basically there is an interesting conversation happening between Buddha and Venerable Malunke Putta. So there Buddha basically clarifies what is the exact area that we need to work out. So he asks a very interesting question. Now suppose that you assume that I have seen a particular site, okay, but you haven't seen that. Just to clarify this point, say I have seen a particular site, but you haven't seen that, and you haven't even heard about it, and you have no idea about it, and you have no plan even to think about it or to see that. Will you get any defilement with respect to that particular site? Can't. How about me? Probably, because say I have gone through that experience, I have seen that site. So if I imagine that or think about it, regret about it or whatever it is, if I attach to it, then I can produce defilements. So likewise, if we consider the past experiences, whatever we have gone through may have a capacity to produce some defilements. But if we haven't gone through various other experiences, which we haven't gone through it, then don't have that capacity to produce any defilement. And on the other hand, suppose a future experience, it hasn't come yet, it didn't happen yet, but you know that there is something like that. So you can plan about it, you can think about it, you can imagine about it. Will it produce, and you want to experience that, will it produce some kind of defilement? Yes, why not? You can think about it, no, right? So you know there's something like this. You know, even though you haven't gone to Lotus Tower, you know it is there. So you can imagine, okay, I'm going there, I'm going to the top floor, I'm looking at around the Colombo, blah blah. So you can think about it, right? So you can enjoy it internally. So can produce defilements. But on the other hand, there may be various other future incidents going to happen you haven't yet experienced. So then you don't need to worry, because you don't know. Even assume that you're never going to experience them. Then you don't need to worry at all. So therefore Buddha mentioned, so whatever we have experienced and currently what we are going to experience, maybe future also what really we are going to experience. That's the only demarcation that we have to work out. And particularly at this moment, whatever the defilements arising within my mind at this moment. So what even we are thinking about the past, currently those thoughts happen right now, in the present moment. So the present moment mind we have to look at. That's why in another sutta, say Baddekaratta Sutta, Atitan nanvagameya nappatikanke anagatam. So you should not follow what has happened in the past. Nappatikanke anagatam. So you shouldn't have too much expectations, distractions with respect to the future. Atitan nanvagameya nappatikanke anagatam yadatitang pahinang tang. So whatever has happened, it has gone. Yadatitam pahinang tang appattancha anagatam. Future hasn't come yet. Pachuppannancha yo dhammang tatta vipassati. So the present moment phenomena, present moment activities, then and there, whenever they are arising, you have to do the vipassana. You have to know, you have to clearly notice them, you have to clearly observe them, and you have to be aware of them. So therefore, the present moment awareness, you are fully aware what is happening right now, is the field of vipassana, basically. But it doesn't mean that if you have experienced something in the past, you can think about it again, but present moment. Something going to happen in the future, you can think about it, but you think in the present moment. So basically, if you are paying more attention to the present moment, consider about what is going on within right now, so then fairly we can say we are safe. We are guarding ourselves, protecting ourselves. And another area that we can discuss is that about the, say, 4 types of effort. So one type of effort Buddha mentioned is that, say, there are already arisen unwholesome, say, thoughts. So you need to have some kind of an effort to abandon it. if there is no unwholesome thought arisen in your mind, what are you going to do? So you may try not to arouse it, right? So that's another type of effort. How about the wholesome thoughts, wholesome deeds, wholesome actions, wholesome qualities? So there, say, if there is no necessary wholesome quality still developed within your mind, then you have to have some effort to develop it. How about already developed wholesome qualities? What are you going to do? You need to retain it. You need to retain it, right? You need to retain it, you need to protect it, you need to make it abundant, so that you have it on your reach. At any moment you can have it. So within your order, within your control, things are available, the wholesome qualities. So likewise we can consider both sides. So with respect to unwholesome qualities, we have to abandon them if it is available. And if it is not available, we can keep an eye if they are going to arise, then I have to minimize that. So that is one side. The wholesome side is, if it is not available, I have to generate some energy to produce them. And if it is available, I have to make it abundant, make it available, and to complete it. So likewise we can discuss on this subject. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
This, how to avoid the ignorance? Now say, if somebody doesn't think, he doesn't know about the apaya or anything, he doesn't know.
No.
So if he will automatically, due to the unawareness.
So yeah, actually this silence doesn't mean ignorance. So it is not ignorant silence. Say actually we can call it as so this is more in-depth discuss when you are reaching the upekha, equanimity. So there can be a person who is simply maintaining equanimity because he is incapable. Say you are a weak person, that you have no skill, you are not powerful. Say someone is blaming you, so you are maintaining equanimity because you are incapable. You can't do anything. There may be another person who has developed himself, he has a lot of insights, and he is trying to maintain his mind free from any attachments, free from any anger, free from any kind of involvement. So he too being blamed. It's the same experience. Now he is also maintaining an equanimity in his mind. Which one is more profound? The second one is more profound because he has more capacity, capability, and he is being patient, he is maintaining equanimity because he knows the proper value of it. But the other hand, the other person, he is simply maintaining kind of an equanimity because he can't do anything. He is quite weak. So likewise, here when we consider the silence of mind, it doesn't mean that we are ignorantly maintaining kind of a silence. The person may be fully vigilant, fairly wise. While being wise, while being vigilant, still he is maintaining kind of a inner silence. And another person who, if he is completely ignorant, so it's very unlikely that he can maintain silence. So, maybe one can even though there is no much wisdom available, through samatha practice also he can attain a particular jhana, particular samadhi. There also he can maintain some silence, but only to a certain, only to a limited time. Say, while he was in that concentrated state, okay, mind may be silent. But when he come out of it, only for a short moment it may available. After that, again the distractions going to happen and the inner chatter may going to arise. But on the other hand, assume that someone is going through proper vipassana practice and he understand how conceptual proliferations happen, how we do a lot of constructions on top of whatever the thoughts coming in, and he understands this full picture. And through the insight practice, he is now trying to abandon that process, the complete process. to minimize chetana, as we discussed yesterday. So he understands, okay, chetana, these volitional activities are kind of a burden. Let me have a mind free from any volition. Let me have a mind which is not doing any conceptual proliferations, not doing any constructions. Thought may come and you are not doing any construction, it may go. Suppose I have a, say, water tube, and you insert some water from one side, and if the same amount is going from the other side without mixing anything within while it is going through, any change happen to this what you are inserting? So I hope you understand my simile, right? My example, say you have a water tube and you are inserting some water from one end, and you are not doing any mixing or changing its temperature, whatever it is, it's simply going the same amount, same thing going out. How about our mind? Say a thought coming from this side. Say, is the same thought going out? So how many things that we do, right? I mean, internally we do a lot of constructions. This is the area that when a thought comes, it may be just a pure thought, maybe a slight thought. But on top of that, we do a lot of constructions. And we do a lot of our own fabrications, additions, distractions, multiplications. Then that the original thought is not the one going out. Many other products are going out. Our own creations, our own constructions, proliferations are going out. So what is the mind of an arahant then? So that is like that water tube. Maybe a thought come, the same thought going out. Simple as that. That's why Buddha make it as an udana. Just after his enlightenment, visankhara gatan chittang. Now his mind is not involving in these constructions, not interested in continuing these constructions. So he may see things, that's it. Hear things, that's it. May thought come, that's it, it may go as it is. Mind remains quietude, remains calm, silent, without doing any constructions. So this is the direction that Buddha is, very much like turning ourselves, directing ourselves, how to achieve that kind of a non-constructive mind. Non-constructive, that's also a kind of in today's terms, it's a wrong term. You have to be constructive, right? The constructions. So you do a lot of construction, so you get paid. So when you do no constructions, no payment. So anyway, the path is based on the non-constructions. Maintaining silence. Sabba sankhara samatha is a synonym for nibbana. Stilling all mental formations, stilling all mental constructions is a synonym for nibbana. Yeah.
Theruvan Saranai.
Yeah.
Swamin Wahansa, this is a question related to yesterday's Deshana. Chaturvida Ahara. Swamin Wahansa, Passa Ahara.
Is the mic working? I don't know. My one is working by... Is it on? Okay. Right.
Swamin Wahansa, Passa Ahara.
Right.
Passa Ahara, Chakku Sampassa, Srota Sampassa, Gana Sampassa. The last one is Mano Sampassa.
Mano Sampassa.
Swamin Wahansa, Mano Sampassa, that is the reason how you generate your sanchetana.
Mm-hmm.
Then the sampassa ahara, sanchetana ahara is directly related to each other.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yes. Actually, last three are interrelated. Actually, all four are interrelated. All four are interrelated, and if you omit the first one, which is more gross and physical, say if you consider the other three, so they are fairly interrelated, but Buddha pointing out one significant aspect in each one. Say if you consider the passa ahara, contact, so more into the sense stimuli. Say when you are handling our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. So how we are sort of more eagerly waiting to see something, more eagerly waiting to hear something. So it's a kind of a desire. So desire driven. So we have more craving, and that contact also produce some pleasurable feelings. So as a result of that, I want to see, I want to hear, I want to smell, I want to taste, I want to think. So one angle Buddha is pointing out. But in the Mano Sanchetana Ahara side, so I mean, we want to do a kind of an activity. Either bodily activity, bodily action, either we want to do a mental action or verbal action. So the action side is more, the prominence is given to more towards the action side, Chetana. So volitionally, I want to do something. So I is there, I want to do something. So I is more significant. And again, the doing part, kind of an energy coming within yourself, more energetic. I want to. So that side is more emphasized. So as a person, say I always want to do something. I am more ambitious. So we are promoting, like, I mean, we are sort of encouraging others, motivating others. So I am more ambitious to do something. So likewise, that attitude as human beings we have, that is more given the more emphasis. But it, as you said, has a relationship, of course. I mean, I may be really ambitious to look at a film. Maybe through the eyes, mind involved, but the ambition, that eagerness is more prominent. When it comes to, say, Vijnana Ahara, even subtle level, how Vijnana and Namarupa have kind of an interrelationship in this whole process. So, if we consider the first ahara, second ahara, third ahara, all this interrelationship is available, but it is not the one being, say, emphasized. But that relationship is more emphasized when we are talking the Vijnana Ahara, that we can't maintain our mind free from thinking, free from, say, any Nama Rupa. We want to occupy the mind. So that is where the Vijnana Ahara is more concerned towards. So as you said, they are really interrelated. Yeah.
Thero Saranai.
Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Keep it closer, then it's fine.
Theruwan Saranai Swamin Wahanse, my question is really on 4 efforts. Samyak Pradana Virya.
Right.
There you said the Upan Kusal, Upidima Pinisa, and Upan Kusal Ditya Vadidiyunu Kirim Pinisa. Then there's another Buddha, all Buddhas version is Sabba Papa Sakarana Kusala Supa Sampada. When you say Kusal, does this mean only Vipassana Kusal?
No, I mean,
or all other Kamavachara Kusal also? Because as we know or read from the books, the Kamavachara Kusal helps to go through samsara.
Yeah. So that is there. Yes, I agree. So basically, the wholesome deeds have 2 aspects. So it produces, say, some beneficial, say, favorable kind of results. At the same time, it has another aspect. It has the capacity to minimize the generation of any kind of a kusal, any kind of an action. So what I want to say is, now if you generate really wholesome deeds, wholesome karma, so it has the capacity to give you good results, favorable results. At the same time, it has the capacity to do a kind of a kammakkhaya, completely uproot this possibility of generating karma. Even that capacity is there. So in our, I mean, if you consider Buddha's teaching, so he has, in that sense, we can say he's talking in a kind of a gradual way. Say someone is approaching him for a discussion. So probably he may not immediately talk something on vipassana. He may start with sagga, sagga kata, dana kata, sila kata, sagga kata. So likewise, a kind of a gradual discussion, gradual preaching is there. So the other person's mind is now slowly evolving. So he may turn towards doing something good, dana kata, and he now interested of maintaining some ethics, morality. So likewise, now still, so kind of mundane activities we can say. But later, okay, kamanang adinang. So likewise, now he talks about the repercussions of this sensual world. So now the person, the listener may not interested in say doing that kind of an activity. Now Buddha is talking, okay, that more into the vipassana kind of teachings, because his mind is now ready, because he understood, okay, there is a favorable, wholesome deeds, wholesome karma. Now he is even protecting the sila. Now he is talking about the maybe samadhi. So likewise, so kind of a gradually one may go through the practice. So therefore we can't deny, yes, whatever we do, if it is a wholesome activity, yes, it has the capacity to give you good results, and also it has the capacity to do a kind of a complete eradication of karma. And that's where in one time of our life we have to turn, if we are turning more towards that the kammakkaya side, more towards the vipassana side, sometimes what we call as the adikusala, adichitta or adisila, adichitta, adipanya. So when we are turning towards that, then slowly the other things maybe you are simply maintaining for the sake of maintenance, but you are giving more emphasis on to the other side. That's why even in the Sammaditthi, Buddha talks two sides. Say mundane type of Sammaditthi, mundane side kind of Sammaditthi, still there is ignorance available and there is a person available. What you call it's called sasava. Sasava punya bahagya upadivekpakka. Sasava means it still has taints. Punya bahagya, but it produces good results. Upadivekpakka, and the future you get good results. On the other side is they are available in the lokuttara kind of samadhitti, anasava lokuttara magganga. So it doesn't have any kind of taints, and it is noble, supramundane, and it becomes a path factor. So likewise, we can't completely neglect the kusal side, say the sammadhitti, the mundane side. First of all, we need to establish ourselves in the mundane sammadhitti, lokiya sammadhitti, kammasagata sammadhitti. While they are, say, one moment you become more mature. You may start searching, what is more than this? Now I am a good person, I am now not killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, all those things are now not available. What next? What would be the next path that Buddha is showing us? Now you are turning into that side. There you are more involved with that, say, samatha and vipassana, that kind of a practice. Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, since we don't know whether we will attain Nibbana, and most probably not in this birth, and since we do want to have a good birth in future or next bhava,
better to do something, if not going to happen, right?
And at the same time, do as Vipassana yogis give more weight to that?
So I ask another question. Now say, in the categorization of wholesome deeds, now there's a kind of a gradual categorization also happened. It is mentioned in the Velama Sutta. Have you heard about that sutta? So, very interesting sutta. I think available in Anguttara Nikaya, either Navaka Nipata or maybe Dasaka Nipata. So you can read Velama Sutta. And Buddha give a very interesting categorization in the ascending order. Say, starting with an animal. Okay, you are giving some food to an animal. It's a wholesome deed, right? Lot of merits available. Say you are giving to 100 animals. Much better. Say you are giving to a human being who doesn't have much morality. Which one is better? 100 animals or a human being? Human being doesn't have any, assume this particular case, human being doesn't have any ethics. He's maybe all the bad things he's doing, but he's a human being. Which one you think good? Human being, huh? Yeah. And then Buddha talks about a person who is more moral and he's a good human being. Then more merit. How about 100 human beings? Same kind of good 100 human beings, the more merit. And then likewise it's continuing. Say a person who is a noble person, a Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arihat. So likewise the merit power increases. And ultimately even a Buddha, merit power increases. And say Buddha and the Sangha altogether, high merit power. And then Buddha talks about a person decides, I am no more killing an animal. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadan Samadhyami. Does it has any merit power? Not only thinking, implementing. Implementing that he decides, okay, I am no more going to kill an animal. So he is true to type person. He is now no more killing. So he fully observe that particular precept. If you compare, say, Buddha and you are giving a dana to the Buddha and the Sangha. This is in one side. And you are deciding, okay, I am not killing any animal. I am properly maintaining this particular precept. Which is more powerful? First one. That means giving Buddha and the Sangha more food, right? Dana. As a layman. No. So Buddha say, so you as a single person you decide, okay, from today onwards, I am not killing. That is more powerful. Even more than giving dana to Buddha and the Sangha. So more, these are kind of contradicting. So that's why I want you to refer that sutta. So very interesting. And then say likewise Buddha is talking about all the precepts. Each and every precept. And then he is talking about giving property to Sangha. You build up a property and you offer it to Sangha so that another person may build up his own spiritual qualities. That is more powerful. Then he talks about the samatha side. So you build, say, may all living beings well and happy. A metta. More powerful than even giving, right? Dana. Then what is the end? You recognize, okay, this is impermanent. You are paying attention to a particular phenomena and there you recognize, okay, this is impermanent. You have that anicca sanya. And Buddha say this is more powerful. So likewise, a very interesting categorization, orderly arrangement is there in this Velama Sutta. We sometimes even don't believe it. We simply sometimes think, okay, we need to give dana and all these things, that is more weighty. And we don't think that if I am protecting my sila, I am adhering to that precept, it is more powerful. And samatha, if I do, say, samatha practice, say metta meditation is more powerful. And even more powerful if you do vipassana practice. So therefore, it doesn't mean that, say, you doing vipassana practice doesn't mean that you don't accumulate merit. Huge amount of merit being accumulated even when you do vipassana activity. So therefore, we can't even compare. That's why, we don't need to think that, okay, last couple of years I involved with a lot of meritorious deeds, say bodily activities, say dana and all these ceremonies I involved. And I have accumulated a lot of merit, but now I am not accumulating a lot of merit because I am just doing vipassana. Wrong. Say you nowadays assume that, I am just giving examples, assume that you are not involved in any of those right now, but you are more involved in vipassana. You have more power, more wisdom power is there, more knowledge is there, more vipassana merit is there. So therefore it is not really that we have to do a lot of say strenuous bodily activities that we in order to generate every time the wholesome power, but with your very concentrated mind, carefully observing particular phenomena, understanding its true behavior, true nature, so that you generate a lot of vipassana knowledge, it has more potential to generate merit power. So you can refer Velama Sutta, I think in Anguttara Nikaya, I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember, it is on 10th or 11th, I can't remember. So you can refer. So these are very, so Buddha is, and again, Buddha mentioned, probably you can remember at the deathbed of the Buddha. So certain celestial beings are coming from celestial heavens to pay final respects. How they are going to do? So they are playing all their, say, divine drums, and they are putting their flowers, divine flowers, and all these things. So they think though that is the best way of paying respect to the Buddha. And Buddha see that and he simply neglect it. And then he mentioned this, whatever the Patipatti Puja is more important, and that is where he is giving more emphasis. So therefore, sometimes it's difficult, difficult to accept certain things, but that is Buddha's words. So therefore, we don't need to underestimate what we are doing. As say, if you are doing vipassana practice, if you are doing samatha practice, they all have a huge capacity to generate a lot of merit. It may be even for a slight moment. Say, if you are practicing metta, even for a slight moment, it has a lot of merit. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, yes. First of all, to avoid any kind of unwholesome deeds. Yeah. Then say kusala supasampada, you are doing, as he mentioned, it's true. Say when you are avoiding any kind of unwholesome deed, then you become more capable of understanding what is really wholesome. Otherwise, we are going to a kind of a trend. Okay, he is also doing, okay, I am also going, I want also to do. He is giving to 10 monks, okay, I need to give 20 monks. So for a competition. So kind of conceit and a lot of other, say, reasons are there behind my motivation. But on the other hand, say, if you are developing yourself with, and you assume that you are minimizing all different kinds of unwholesome qualities, then you may have a better understanding, okay, what would be the best way of making use of this time. So maybe implementing Buddha's teaching. So to understand Buddha's teaching by within ourselves, dedicating ourselves as a through our practice. So then it is not that we are ignoring Buddha's teaching, rather we are giving more life to Buddha's teaching within our own examples. That is more valuable than simply venerating the Buddha. It also may be good as a gratitude, but more than that, if we really want to give him the proper Buddha puja, the Patipatti puja definitely would be the best. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe both. That's why I am not telling you to stop all the karma vachara kusala and just do only the vipassana. So you, as human beings, okay, we can be good human beings. If someone else wants help, okay, let us help. Doesn't matter. Not in any sutta. Yeah, that's what I explained in the Velama Sutta. So all different categories of different types of wholesome deeds are explained. So, and he has sort of properly assembled, or rather organized them in the ascending order. And Buddha has kept the vipassana kusala at the topmost level. Yeah. Another question is there, yeah.
Avasaraya Swamin Wahanse.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I am taking more time.
No problem, yeah.
Swamin Wahanse, when you refer, is reference to the Patthana if we have done any wholesome deed, and you remember and pratyaveksha, menihika, navata menihika.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of merit power also.
That is the reason that I wanted to ask. So whatever you have done earlier, you remember and again pratyaveksha.
Yes.
That generates a lot of merits.
Correct. Yeah. So that's why, I mean, there are different sides that we can look into. Suppose you did an activity, a wholesome activity, and you help a particular person, and today you remember it and you think about it and you are quite happy about it. You are the one helped, I am the one helped. So likewise, I can generate a lot of relive in that activity. Of course, I can generate more merit. But when you are going more towards that vipassana side, I mean, that's what we discussed in the sammaditthi. Now we are talking on the kammasakata sammaditthi. Say, as a human being, as a good human being, I did a good activity, wholesome activity. Now as a good human being, I am remembering that. As a result of that, I can generate more merit. Correct. Accepted. When you are shifting to the, say, lokuttara kind of sammaditthi, so anasava lokuttara magganga. So we have to think how we can make merit without ignorance, without having any self-view, promoting any self-view, without being a person. So those are in a way little subtle aspects. How to avoid that kind of, say, self-confirmation, self-appropriation kind of things. Now, if you consider maybe a wholesome deed, maybe done in the past, last year, now I am reflecting about it, okay, because of I, now they are living good. Because of I, he is now doing well. I am the one who helped him. So now there's a kind of an I being generated each and every thought, right? I making happens to each and every thought, very subtle. It is not raga, it is not dosa, but this thought has hidden I. So when that thought happened in my mind, so okay, probably I feel little, quite elated. Okay, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. Yeah, that is why Sakkaya Ditthi. So, not really. I mean, we can't say really akusala. It produces akusala. But as a person, that's why I mean it's a merit. It's a wholesome deed. It's a wholesome deed. So you as a person, you did something good in the past, and you as a person right now thinking about it, okay, I am the one who helped. So that help and that whatever the, say, enjoyment, the pleasure that you have enjoyed during that time, you can even generate now, and as a result of that, some wholesome merit power can be generated even now. But as a person, that's why sasava, I mean, there's a taint involved because fair amount of ignorance is there. Still, as a person, as I'm enjoying it, I'm remembering it. But when we are talking about the vipassana, so there Buddha mentioned, you got to recognize that thought. When a thought happens, is that thought has any kind of any kind of a hidden tendency towards a self? Is it a thought confirming the availability of a person, availability of a self? So that is the level that Vipassana yogi is working, where he is not really promoting that thought and thinking about the past deed. Rather, he recognizes where the I is hidden in this particular thought. This is a thought. It is not a lustful thought. It is not an angry thought. But it's a thought which has hidden I, which promotes I, which promotes a personality view. There he disclaimed that thought. He simply disclaimed that thought. That's where, that is why it is coming like a kammakkaya. So now you are not generating not even wholesome, not even unwholesome. Rather, you are going to kind of a kammakkaya kind of a path. I mean, because of the vipassana kusala, maybe a separate channel may be available for you to get the wholesome deeds, wholesome merit power. But other than that, whatever the I related, a person related, a being related kamma you are now trying to minimize. So you are never promoting a self now. Yeah. Yes, Metta Bhavana, certainly we promote I. So it's a good question. Say in the Metta meditation, say we start with I. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be free from suffering. So I is there. That's why, we need to properly handle these. So that's why, say at the beginning of our practice, certainly these things are helpful. Maybe Buddha Anusati, Metta and all these things. Say, especially say Metta. Say you being a good person, may I be well. So you promote kind of a self-view, true. But later, say you are coming to you are reached to a level of Metta where you are even don't have any boundaries. So may all beings be well and happy. Now you are more into say boundless kind of Metta. And even beyond that, say assume that you understand, okay, there are no being here. There is no person here. Suppose simply mind and matter. Say simply only say elements or aggregates. So likewise, say you want to have more emphasis on vipassana. So at that time, probably you can get that metta quality instead of generating to a particular person. You are not doing, say, may I be well, may I be happy right now, because you are quite aware now there is no I in the body, no I in the feelings, no I in the perceptions, no I in the, say, mental formations, and no I in the consciousness. Now you are quite clear about it through your vipassana practice. Now at that time, if you do, say, may I be well, may I be happy, then it's going against it. So therefore, you are now not much involved in that type of metta meditation. Instead, probably, if you really want, you can have a kind of a feeling of metta. Say you probably have kind of a compassion, a feeling of metta, not necessarily to have particular person targeted. So you feel kind of, say, quite happy, pleasant. So internally you are maintaining that, sometimes what we call as Abhyapajjo hoti, anigo hoti, sukhi attanam pariharami. Sukhi attanam pariharami. Now you are maintaining a very, say, serene kind of life. That itself is metta. So metta has kind of different levels, we can say. At the beginning it is true, I am there. First of all, I need to be good. I need to be well. Then only I can send metta to another person. Okay, you also can be well. But later you understand, okay, there's no I here, there is no person there. Okay, just the, say, elements, just the aggregates. So you are simply maintaining kind of an unattached, non-grasping state of mind. Sukhi attanam pariharami. You can say like that, So these are, in a way, we can say different tools. At different stages we can use. And when it is not necessary, we can go for another advanced kind of tools, more refined kind of tools. Yeah. Okay, I think we have spent almost 1 hour discussing some Dhamma. If there is no any other question, then we can wind up the session. And we'll have the Dhamma sermon at 4:30. And I am conducting it while over there, because I am going to combine 2 things. And Amil will help to broadcast it from here. I am, like tomorrow's thing, I am doing it from there. And there actually we hope to cover on the consciousness nutriment. Yeah. Okay, Thero and Sanrai.